Hey, thanks for the great introduction. So excited to be here today to talk about anything and everything Snapchat, especially on Snapchat Creative. So let's dive into it. Alrighty. So in today's session, I'm going to be going over the golden rules to Snapchat advertising, the do's and don'ts that you'll need to know in order to have the best ad creatives for this platform. So in short, what I do for my clients is that I make Snapchat ads that convert. I work with ad designers as well as actors and user-generated content specialists to create ads that convert for the Snapchat platform. I'm going to be going over the different Snapchat ad types and the different placements that Snapchat offers for you to advertise on. And then, of course, my tools for setting up your campaign for success, creating effective ads, and how I do creative testing within Snapchat Ads Manager. So let's dive into it. So the first thing I want to cover is more broadly, why Snapchat advertising? The number one reason I recommend for my clients to advertise on Snapchat is to diversify your portfolio of ad spend. I find it to be rather risky, and I would say not advisable to only have all of your eggs in one basket. And by that basket, I mean all of your eggs in the Facebook ads basket. While I love Facebook ads and I run Facebook ads for most of my clients, I do recommend, especially if you have a lower AOV product or average order value product, to be advertising on different platforms such as Snapchat and TikTok as well. And one of the reasons I really like Snapchat in particular is that it's great for reaching a younger demo. So if your demo is between 13 and 30 years old, I've seen ads convert really successfully on there. There's a lot of impulse buyers on Snapchat, and I've seen that my clients have been able to achieve similar ROAS or return on ad spend on their Snapchat ads as they do on Facebook, but at a lower CPM. So the cost per traffic on Snapchat is cheaper as well. So lots of reasons to be on Snapchat. I put on the screen a very kind review from one of my clients where I was able to help the brand Kitsch reach the age 13 to 24-year-olds more effectively using Snapchat ads. So why Snapchat over other platforms? One of the things that I love about Snapchat is the low barrier to entry. Now, on Facebook ads or Google ads, if you've ever played around on those platforms, you know that they can be pretty complicated to set up your first campaign. Where on Snapchat, it's actually rather pleasant to build campaigns out on this platform because it is an extremely simple setup. When you go through this setup of creating your first Snapchat ad campaign, it's almost foolproof in terms of you can't mess it up, because Snapchat gives you guided instructions on picking your targeting. Here's where you upload your ad creatives. Here's where you pick your bid. It's very foolproof. So I really enjoy launching new clients on Snapchat. And I find that people who are new to digital marketing and maybe don't even have Facebook media buying experience are able to pick up Snapchat ads really quickly. So for this presentation, I'm not going to dive too deep into the technicalities of building ads on Snapchat because I do think it is so easy to go through the flow of the automated flow of creating an ad on Snapchat when they're guiding you through the steps. That is more than enough to set up your first campaign. I also have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel, which is Savannah Sanchez, that goes through setting up your Snapchat ads. But let me tell you this, you really can't mess it up if you're choosing a broad targeting. So for instance, for my clients, I like to choose targeting like 16 plus women in the US. So very broad, or like clothing interests. They have similar interests as they do on Facebook. And then setting a target cost or your bid at your desired CPA goal. So very low barrier to entry to set up. Another thing I like about Snapchat is that you can start with a minimal budget. So I have clients that want to launch maybe at $50 or $100 a day, and that's more than enough to get your campaigns up and running. So you don't need a massive budget to test this platform. I also like this platform because it reaches a brand new demographic of users. There is an entire subset of Snapchatters who actually don't even use Facebook or Instagram. They exclusively use Snapchat. So for my clients, a lot of my clients are spending very large budgets on Facebook, often over $100,000 or even up to $1 million a month. And if you're saturated on other platforms, if you've reached everyone there is to reach on Facebook, Snapchat has a brand new audience, especially the younger demographic. The younger demographic meaning 13 to 18 years old. It's a stat that 90% of 13 to 18-year-olds are on Snapchat, and I believe it's 70% of the age range 13 to 24 on Snap. So they do reach a very large audience, and their audience number in terms of active users has really grown a lot in 2020. They've really been able to continue to get users on their platform and to keep them on their platform. So it's great for reaching a brand new audience that doesn't even exist on Facebook and Instagram ads. Of course, one of the main draws to Snapchat is also just the lower cost per purchase. It doesn't mean that for every product or every account, we're going to see lower cost per purchase than we are on Facebook, but especially for female-focused brands, and if your target demo is between 13 and 24, 25 years old, and you have an average order value of under $50, I've seen that we've been able to get more efficient CPAs on Snapchat sometimes than we do on Facebook, just because the cost of traffic is cheaper. So I do have clients that are scaling on Snapchat more than they are Facebook at a lower CPP. Another reason to diversify onto Snapchat is just to overall increase your traffic and increase your site purchases. So like I said, because traffic is cheaper, you're going to be able to get more people into your funnel, more people to retarget with your Facebook advertising, your email advertising. It's such a cheap and effective way to get people on the top of the funnel. And as I mentioned before, best for lower AOV products. I have seen success with some products that are more expensive, even around the $100 range. I worked with a brand that sold leggings that were around $100, and they still saw success on Snapchat because they had user-generated content, very forward-thinking advertising. They made ads very specific to what Snapchat users liked, and they were able to sell their $100 leggings. So I wouldn't say don't rule Snapchat out if your average order value is over $50, but I would say that Snapchatters are very price sensitive. I've seen that my best ads for my clients are often cheap products and also advertising a sale. Snapchatters love a good sale and a good offer. So if you can offer a discount code or something exclusive to Snapchat, that's also going to be able to improve your Snapchat return on ad spend. So getting started with Snapchat ads, the first thing is going to create your new account. If you want to create a new account and you don't already have a Snapchat ad account, I recommend using my link in order to get a free $2,000 of Snapchat ad credit. That link is bit.ly, so bit.ly/2000Snapchat. Again, that's bit.ly/2000Snapchat. And when you sign up for Snapchat ads using that link, you will get a free $2,000 towards your first campaign once you spend your first $2,000. So take advantage of that offer and get your self-service account set up. If you are on Shopify, it is also extremely simple to set up the pixel. What I do for my clients, since my clients are all on Shopify, is I download the official Snapchat Ads Shopify app, and it's as easy as one click in order to integrate your purchase events, add to carts, view content, and all of the events that you would want to track on Snapchat using that Shopify Snapchat Ads app. Now, if you're not on Shopify, of course, you can hard code the pixel into your site the same way that you probably had to do for Facebook and Google Pixel, but for Shopify, they make it extremely easy. You can literally set up your account and your first campaign and get the pixel set up within 30 minutes easily. So again, low barrier to entry to get started on Snapchat. The next thing you'll want to do is establish your daily budget. I would recommend to at least be spending $50 to $100 a day on Snapchat to test out the platform. It's also going to be a product of your AOV, of how much you should be spending a day on Snapchat. So if you have a lower AOV, like a $10 product, then you're going to need a lower budget in order to see purchasers come through. Whereas if you're selling a $100 product, you're probably going to need a higher budget in order to start seeing purchases come through for the algorithm to optimize. Similar to Facebook, it's really best to get at least 50 purchases a week or 50 pixel events in order for Snapchat ads to start learning who is purchasing on your ads, who is your ideal customer. So the more purchases you can get in the shorter amount of time, the faster your Snapchat ads are going to optimize. I know that not everyone has $1,000 a day or wants to spend $1,000 a day to get out of the learning phase and get your Snapchat ads up. So I would say if your AOV is under $50, at least try to spend $100 to $200 a day so you can get a couple purchases a day, get the algorithm rolling. So that's how I like to think about setting the budget for my clients. Now, for Snapchat, another thing that I like about this platform is that I have seen success taking my clients' existing IG story creatives and testing them on Snapchat. Again, low barrier to entry on this platform. So if you already have Instagram story creatives, it's pretty simple to test them on Snapchat as well. And I've seen that type of creatives can be effective. Something that works really well for my clients is user-generated content, which means that people are filming ads with their iPhone, selfie style, customer testimonials. These type of ad content works really well on Snapchat. So if you are able to get UGC from your clients, or if you're going to film ads yourself, I would recommend filming them on an iPhone and making them look as native as possible, meaning using the native Snapchat text. You want to make it look not like an ad, is essentially the golden rule there. Now, for your first campaign, I would recommend setting up a prospecting campaign. So this means that you are going to be looking for new customers to come to your website. So when I set up prospecting, I like to test a broad audience first. So for instance, if I'm selling pet collars, maybe I'll choose the audience 16 plus US and interested in dogs. And the dog interest is a massive audience of millions of people. Or if it's a clothing company, maybe I just do female 16 to 35. So I like to leave the targeting rather broad when I start out. And what's cool is once your ads start running, then you can look at the insights of who is actually swiping up, engaging, and purchasing on your ads to get ideas for new targeting groups. So once you start running your ads to a broad audience, you might realize, oh, actually a lot of the purchases are between 16 and 18. Maybe I want to create an ad group specific to that age group. Or what's also cool, when you see the insights of who is purchasing on your ads, Snapchat will also tell you what interest targeting those people fall in. So you might find that on your ads, people in the sports fans' interest are the ones that are most resonating with your ads. And then you can create a new ad group targeting that specific interest. So the key to targeting, start broad, get some data back once you have a few purchases, when you see people adding to cart, swiping up, and then you'll be able to get new ideas for new interest groups once you see who is purchasing. I also like to test 3 to 5 ad creatives per ad group. So when you're first starting out with Snapchat advertising, you're not going to know which creative is going to resonate with your audience. Maybe you have a few different pieces of UGC or user-generated content to test, and you have never tested them on Facebook, and you don't know which one is going to resonate. So I find that if you use 3 to 5 creatives per ad group, that is enough to get some good creative learnings back when you see which ad is getting the most purchases, and then you can reiterate off of that best performing ad. So 3 to 5 is the sweet spot. And then once you launch your ads, then you go through that process of monitoring the insights of who is actually purchasing on your ads and looking at what creatives are getting the best return. So something that I preach, and this isn't just for Snapchat ads, this is for every platform, is that the creative should dictate your targeting. So what I mean by this is that if you're utilizing a broad audience targeting, you can actually reach different pockets of that broad audiences by using different creatives. So what I mean by this is that each creative can target a different value proposition. So with your product, I'm sure there's multiple reasons why someone would want to buy or why they wouldn't want to buy, and each creative can address a different concern. For instance, you can have one creative that is really sales focused. So flash sale, these cute shoes are 50% off. These are going to appeal to consumers who are very like thrifty and like to purchase from sales. So that's going to reach one subset of a broad audience. If you have a creative that's talking about quality, so my shoes are like the best quality, they're made out of great leather, and they're such a good value, they're way more comfortable than the competition, they last longer, that's going to reach an audience that mostly cares about quality. Whereas maybe another subset of that broad audience cares about the style. So maybe your ad is saying, we have hundreds of different shoe styles to choose from. We have flats to heels, sneakers. Look at our variety. We have the trendiest styles. That's going to reach a new subset. So what I like to do when I'm setting up my Snapchat ad campaigns with those 3 to 5 ads is make each ad different enough and test a different value proposition on each ad, so that once you start getting some purchases back, you have a meaningful data point of, okay, the ad that is targeting, or the ad that has the creative that is talking about the sale and the promo is performing the best. And I should create more ads, get more UGC that focuses on the promo. Or maybe you find the quality ad is what's resonating the best. So that's why I like to test different value props when I launch a new campaign. And again, this all comes down to knowing your customer. Knowing what your customer cares about is going to be the first step. And hopefully if you have data from your Facebook ads, you'll be able to have a good idea about what value props your customers most care about. And then you're able to test that on Snapchat. And Snapchat's machine learning capabilities are actually very advanced. So once you get a few purchases on your ads, then Snapchat will start to learn who is actually purchasing. And as you can see, the different breakdowns of the different interests and locations. And then Snapchat will eventually improve your campaign performance by leveraging their machine learning, because they'll realize, okay, a lot of sports fans, people from Texas are purchasing our product. They're going to start serving more ads to those people. So I would say keep your expectations low in the first few weeks of running Snapchat ads. I think that's another reason to use my Snapchat ad credit, the bit.ly/2000 Snapchat, to get the free $2,000, because there is a learning phase. You are not going to see money falling from the sky with Snapchat ads when you first start out. Snapchat algorithm needs to learn who your ideal purchaser is, and then the machine learning kicks in for Snapchat to optimize and understand who your customer is. This is the same for any platform: Google, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest. There is a learning phase, so something to be aware of. Now, here are my Snapchat creative golden rules. The number one thing is to keep your creatives short and sweet. Now, I've actually found that the sweet spot for Snapchat ads is actually around 6 seconds. And there was a study that was done that proved that 6-second creatives were the most effective for Snapchat advertising. So these are very snappy, straight to the point. When someone sees your Snapchat ad, they should immediately know what you're selling, and you should be able to encourage them to swipe up to your website to learn more. So that's why I find that user-generated content, selfie-style videos, showing the product, showing someone quickly talking about the product with the call to action, swipe up to learn more, is going to be the most effective for this platform. So you will become the master of short-form creative content. Something I talk about a lot is designing for second zero, which means that all of the main components of your ad, and people should be able to understand what your product is and what the value prop is within that first frame. Most people will swipe away from a Snapchat ad within 1 second. So that's why your first frame should have your key messaging, even your logo, showing the product in use, so that even if someone only sees the first frame, that second zero, they can still understand what you're selling and what the main value prop is. It's definitely more difficult said than done. And it's something that I'm constantly working with my creative team, is how can we fit all of our messaging, not only within the first 6 seconds, but also how do we make sure people know what our product is on Snapchat within that first second. So it's definitely an art and science to that. I also like using text overlays. So not all Snapchatters are watching the content with sound on. So I do like to add captions if someone is talking to the camera, or just simple text overlays with the value props, so that if someone is watching with sound off, they can still easily understand what the main value propositions of my products are. Another thing that's important is giving viewers an objective. Often with Snapchat ads, that objective is to swipe up, because when they do the swipe up motion, that is how they get to your site. So you want to tell people what you want them to do on your ad. So either visually have the swipe up text on your ad, or if it's UGC, someone talking to the camera, have them visually say like swipe up to learn more. Even like making the hand gesture to swipe up is a good idea. Something that I've seen anecdotally is that creatives with faces in it, so instead of, let's just say, showing a product, but actually showing a human face and someone talking about the product, performs well than creatives without faces. So that's something to keep in mind if you're launching your first Snapchat ad campaign, is to test a selfie style video showing a face, because when people are on Snapchat looking at their friends' Snapchats, that's the type of content they're used to seeing. They're used to seeing selfie style videos, and you want your ad to blend in right in with their friends' videos. You almost want a person to think for a split second, is this an ad or is this a friend? Is this an influencer I'm following? They shouldn't really be able to tell the difference with the ad. So making it as organic looking as possible, filming a selfie style video is a really great way to go with Snapchat ads. Another thing is just to consider the demographic. A lot of Snapchatters are between the ages of 13 and 24. That's like over 75% of Snapchatters. So really try to understand what that audience cares about. What a 13 to 18-year-old thinks about your product might be different than what your core consumer on Facebook, who maybe is 25 to 34, thinks is most important about your product. So try to cater your creatives for a younger demographic. That can also mean using younger looking models and understanding that the younger demographic is also more price sensitive. So including in a compelling offer and having cheaper products is going to appeal more to the 13 to 24 year olds than the older demographic, which has more dispendable income. There the video is going. So here's an example of a creative, and this one is only 5 seconds, and it's an eye-catching loop. I'll play that video. And you can see the offer really clearly in the creative. The 2 for $24 leggings. And this ad was probably filmed on an iPhone. This is just something that someone probably shot in the park of the girl doing some jumping jacks, and they put the text overlays with the offer. This is a really great example of designing for second zero. So even when I don't play the video and you just see the screenshot of the leggings, you can really easily see what they're selling. Okay, it's leggings. Here's the product in use. Here's the offer. And the visual is very eye-catching. Here's another example with the product that is featured. We show the logo. The key messaging is apparent within the first second, and also utilizing an eye-catching visual with the CTA of swipe up. So this is one of my clients' ads that has been really effective. Simple to make, but short, sweet. And another thing to keep in mind is that people are going to your website. You don't have to say everything within your ad creatives. You can just grab their attention, have them, intrigue them enough to swipe up to learn more, and then ultimately do the explaining on your website of the main value props. Snapchat ad is all about just stopping their scroll and getting attention. So this ad isn't necessarily UGC, but it is a great ad that you can make, especially if you don't have user-generated content, just leveraging video graphics into a short form video like this one. This is a great example of giving viewers an objective. So on this ad, the ad is encouraging users to take a quiz and swipe up to find your makeup shade. You can do this for, if you have a quiz, taking a quiz. I've seen that quiz funnels have worked really well on Snapchat, where that is the landing page, where it's like, if it's a skincare brand or a makeup brand, that the CTA is swipe up, take a quiz. I think Snapchatters love quiz. I think it has to do with the demo. Try for free. So maybe if you have a free trial offer, just pay shipping. Let users know in your ad creatives what you want them to do and the offer. Build your box, customize X. There's a lot of different ways you can take this just beyond swipe up to shop. So I really liked in this ad example what they did for the skin quiz. Another thing that's really important is text overlays. So as I mentioned, not all Snapchatters are watching videos with sound on, so it's important to show text overlays for content. So here is an ad that we made for a client. And so what I really like about this ad is that the text bubbles come up and you can see what we're offering. We show the products. We have the shop now to swipe up. So this was an effective ad for us on Snapchat. Short, sweet, to the point. Here's another ad, and this one is from The RealReal, and they did a really great job because they're leveraging UGC. They're using my golden rules of showing faces, showing a real person in the ad, making it look organic. It's not overly produced. And I've actually seen that some of the best ads are TikToks that users are making, and then we're turning them into a Snapchat ad. So we're filming it with TikTok transitions, TikTok text. That type of content works really well on Snapchat as well. So if you're already creating content for your TikTok page, that's perfect content to test on Snapchat. So as you can see in this ad, we're leveraging organic text overlays for Snapchat, and it's very relatable and relevant content to a younger demo. And it has a text overlays. This is a really great Snapchat ad and a great model to go after. And to hit this one home again of the golden rules, a compelling offer can really seal the deal. So on this Dollar Shave Club ad, they're saying all this for $5, and you can see all the things that's included in that package. They're very price sensitive. So test different offers and different limited time promos. That's gonna really help your Snapchat ad performance in my experience. Here is a few more design tips. This one I hope is a little bit obvious, but always designed for mobile first, which is vertical content, which is why I say it's great to shoot things on your iPhone in vertical because then it's ready. Also, know that Snapchat adds their own Shop Now overlay with the little arrow at the bottom. So you don't want to have any text or any important visuals at that very bottom in the middle because that is a dead spot. I also like to templatize a lot of my ads so that you can easily edit them and test different text overlays. Maybe you're even just swapping the first frame or the first second. It's really easy to take one piece of UGC or stuff from one film shoot and make maybe 10 different ads out of it just by testing different text overlays, testing different offers. So on this one, it's ignite your inner fire on the go. But perhaps with this ad, I would test maybe 3 or 5 different headlines, test all the ads against each other, and see which text is resonating the most with Snapchatters. I think this one is also important. While I said before that it is okay to take your Facebook ads that you're running on Instagram stories and running them on Snapchat, I would say that the main difference is that Snapchat is a lot more UGC heavy. You should really be leveraging UGC type content on Snapchat and designing it for 6 seconds with the swipe up CTA. So if you don't already have that type of content that you're running on Instagram stories or TikTok, you're going to want to make specific creatives for Snapchat. And also if you're using a voiceover, golden rule, always have subtitles. We've tested this over and over again, and ads with subtitles when someone is talking performs much, much better than if you don't add subtitles. So it's worth it to have an editor add those captions onto the ad. So here's a couple different creative types to get your mind thinking of different things you can test for Snapchat ads. So one of the things that works really well is just product features and benefits, especially since we have to fit our main message all within 6 seconds. Showing a benefit with the text or showing a quick demonstration is a great ad format. Tutorials also perform really well in Snap. So I used to work with a client that sold fake eyelashes. So some of our best performing Snapchat ads was applying the fake eyelashes. I also used to work with a makeup client. So we would show makeup tutorials, like a quick speed up, swipe up to even watch the rest of the tutorial or to shop. So product demonstrations are really great ad concepts for Snap. Testimonials, you guys already know this. I love user-generated content, and getting testimonials from clients and having that be your ad is an extremely effective ad type. Another type that I like to call is UGC experience. So not only someone talking to the camera and talking about their testimonial, but I also like to show the experience of getting the product. So I've had some ads that we've tested where we even show them getting the package at the door, them unboxing it, them seeing their initial face reaction when they're opening the gift or the product that they bought for themselves. So showing the entire experience of the unboxing and what it's actually like to receive your product is a really great ad type. And lastly, us versus them. You can accomplish this in a split screen, so you can show people, here's our competition, here's why we are better than them, an us versus them comparison to your competition is an effective ad type not only on Snapchat, but this works really well on Facebook as well. So here's some examples of the different ad types. This is a product, feature, and benefit. So always be thinking to yourself, what is unique about your product and why should people care? Why should I stop that? What's gonna make them stop their scroll? And why should they buy? How does it make someone feel? That's another really great thing to call an ad. So, oh my gosh, it's the best present ever. I love this so much. It's transformed my skin. Being just descriptive adjectives around how it makes someone feel, not only just the benefits of the product, is going to help your ad performance. And as I mentioned before, it's really easy to test different text line overlays against each other. So for this one, the first one from our client BlendJet, we say the most powerful portable blender with the swipe up. But we can easily test different text overlays and see which ones that resonate most with their audience. I also like this ad because it swipes through the different colors and then ultimately has the swipe up CTA. Product demonstration and tutorial. So this is that makeup tutorial that I chatted about earlier that performs really well. And I like this one because they also put a text overlay with the review on top of it. So if someone's not even listening to sound on about the review, they can easily see it in the text overlay. People, in addition to seeing how the product works, people love before and afters. So that's a really great ad type as well to test. And not only does it work well for cosmetics and skincare, also works really well for recipes. So we work with a couple clients that sell food, and like BlendJet I showed you before. So showing the recipe of how we make a smoothie and then seeing the end result of the smoothie is really satisfying to watch. And we've seen longer watch times if we show the entire process of making the food or showing the product demonstration and then the after. So in this ad, I really like it. It says, take the quiz to find your true match. It's short, sweet. This is like a 4-second ad and it's a product demonstration with the reviews at the bottom. Looks like it's filmed on an iPhone. This is definitely utilizing all of my Snapchat golden rules. Here's an ad from our client, Our Place. So we took a combination of a lot of different IG story testimonials that we got from our clients and combined them into one Snapchat ad. So really important to leverage your customer reviews and also having it as a text treatment as well. So this ad was a really great performer for us because it was filmed on iPhone. It showed people's reviews, how happy they were with the pan. You can even see like the IG story overlay of what user was posting it, and then ultimately ending with our logos to have that brand recognition. UGC experience, so unboxing videos, try on hauls, start to finish order process. So on this one, she's saying, I just got my new fix, fashion show, love the styles they sent, shows her trying it on, but also has the really great text overlays of the top value props. And then the end ends with the checklist of the top value props, and then the logo at the end, get started today, call to action, and the swipe up. This is a really great ad. And here's us versus them. So this is my client Kitsch. We're saying our satin pillowcase versus cotton pillowcases. What are the differences? Why this versus that? And you can keep it generic. So we're just comparing our satin pillowcase to a cotton pillowcase, or you can choose to actually call out your competitors by name, which is something that we've done as well. So Another ad type to keep in mind beyond just the regular video ads is the discovery feed ads. So the discover feed is essentially where the publisher content shows on Snapchat. So often there's like 17 magazine, People, it's a lot of celebrity content, and people can click on the different discover feed tiles. So that's what that is in the photo, is a tile to watch longer form content from publishers. What's cool is that you can also buy a discover feed tile for your Snapchat ads. And so what's great is that for this ad type, you pick a photo and a headline, and you have your logo on top. So for this one, for Gleeman, we did achieve a bare face glow. For our place, we tested the headline, I tried the Instagram famous pan. And then thirdly, for our client, Printy Pets, we said, are you obsessed with your pet? And essentially what someone does is they click on the tile and they can watch longer form content about your brand. So this is great, especially if you have a product that maybe takes a bit more explaining, more than just showing a UGC of 6 seconds. They can click on the tile and you can play up to 2 minutes of content of someone maybe doing a product demonstration. It's a really great way to give people a bit more depth to your ad creative content. I've seen really great success leveraging these discover feed tiles. As you can see from my clients below, the tile is very eye-catching. It blends right into the native content that's on the discover feed. And what's also great about it is that it's an opt-in placement. So for the regular video ads I showed you before, those are similar to IG stories where someone's watching their friends' Snapchat stories, and then there's an interruptive ad, which obviously people don't like to be interrupted by ads. They're trying to see their friends' stuff. Whereas on the discover feed, people actually have to opt in to watch the video, which means that the users are going to be more qualified and are actually interested in learning more. So in order to watch the video, they have to click on the tile of, I tried the Instagram famous plan, or are you obsessed with your pet? So this is where copy and headline testing really comes into play for these tile ads, because you want people to actually be motivated to click on it to watch the video and then to swipe up. So it does require that opt-in. Here are my tools for creating Snapchat ads. Luckily on my team, I work with some of the best Snapchat ad designers that there are, who design ads for the top e-commerce brands for my clients. So if you want to work with me on creating Snapchat video creatives, of course, you are welcome to get in touch. But I know a lot of you are also looking for tools on how to create videos yourself. So here are some of the ones I like using that are free tools. CapCut is an iPhone app that I like to use to edit videos. You can add text overlays. CapCut is my go-to for creating video ads. Love, love CapCut. Lifelapse is another iPhone app where you can create stop motion videos. And we've seen that stop motion has performed well on Snapchat, so definitely give that a try. Canva, if you haven't been using Canva, you've been missing out. Love, love Canva. Unfold has really great vertical format templates for Snapchat. So if you already want a template that has like the text overlay, even some cute borders, and maybe you're not a designer, that would be a good place to start, is on Unfold. Another thing is on the Snapchat app. So if you are filming a video on the Snapchat app and you add text on it, just as if you were sending it to a friend, you can save that video and then upload it to Snapchat Ads Manager. And what's great is that then you have the organic Snapchat text overlays, so it doesn't look like an ad. So we also create ads right within Snapchat. Download it, upload to Ads Manager. Snapchat Ads Manager also has a create tool. So when you go into Ads Manager under Create is what the tool is called. They have a lot of different templates for people who are just getting started with Snapchat ads. Personally, I don't use these templates. I rely on my designers and we film a lot of our own UGC. But if you're just getting started and you have a low budget and you don't want to go through the process of making an ad or hiring designers or using these apps, Snapchat in Ads Manager, you can upload a raw video or some photo assets, and they have some templates for you to get started. So a lot of you are probably wondering, what are the best ways to get UGC and tips for filming your own UGC? Since I mentioned UGC so much in this presentation, I thought I'd include some tips on how I film my UGC for my Snapchat ads. Now, good lighting is key. So a ring light is your best friend. I'm using one right now. Or you can also film in front of a bright window or outside. You want to make sure you have good natural lighting, and even a ring light can help bring out that natural glow. So always, before you start filming your UGC, think about your lighting. Don't do this at night. This is an obvious one, but often overlooked, because I've definitely filmed ads where after I'm like, oh God, clean your iPhone camera lens. Make sure you give that a wipe before you start filming your UGC. You never know if there's a fingerprint on it. You might be showing this beautiful product demo and then you go into Snapchat ads and you're like, oh crap, I have a smudge on my lens. I also like to use a tripod. So you can film it with your iPhone, like a selfie style with your hand, but maybe a little shaky. There might be some shots, let's just say if you're making a recipe video or like a makeup video, where you want to prop your phone up on something so that it's not a shaky hand video. So you can elevate the quality of your UGC, making it still look organic to the platform because you're filming it with your iPhone, but just increasing that quality slightly by using a tripod. I also like to add voice overlays after the fact. This is, of course, if you're not speaking to the camera. If you're speaking to the camera, then you're going to record the audio right then. But if you are, let's just say, showing an unboxing experience and there's not a face in the frame, adding voice overlays after of like, oh my gosh, I just got this product, it's amazing, I'm unboxing it, and doing that after the fact instead of while you're filming can increase that audio quality. So to recap, setting up your campaigns for success, keeping your audiences broad. Don't get too detailed with the targeting when you're first starting. If you start with a broad audience, you'll be able to have Snapchat help you find your ideal customers. So start broad and then narrow in. You're testing at least 3 to 5 ads per audiences and testing those different value props in your ads. You're refining and optimizing your ad groups based off of who is purchasing on your ads, so you can refine your demographics targeting, your interest targeting, as well as understanding what types of creatives and what value props are Snapchatters resonating the most with. Test creative types frequently. For my clients, I test creatives on a weekly basis. Snapchat, and what I would say, this is good advice for any other platform, don't set and forget. You always want to be learning and improving. You can always improve your ad performance by doubling down on the creative that's working. If you have no creatives that are working, that means you really need to get testing, because you need to be testing a lot of different stuff to figure out what's going to resonate. So test. It's never a set and forget process. I like bringing in a couple of new creatives into an account each week. Granted, with Snapchat, I have seen that there are some ads that can run for months and they still perform well. But I'm always trying to see, how can I outbeat it? How can I improve that ad? How can we test different value props? How can we change the offer to see if it improves performance? So can't be complacent with Snapchat ads. You have to be devoted to the creative testing process. Another thing, I did mention prospecting campaigns with the broad audiences, but Snapchat is also really great for retargeting. Now, retargeting is especially good for Snap because the CPMs, or the cost per reaching 1,000 impressions on Snapchat, is often like a third of the price or a half a price or a fourth of the price than your Facebook CPMs. So if you already have people in your funnel, and let's just say they added to cart or viewed a product page, and you want to retarget them with an offer, it's cheaper to reach them on Snapchat than it is on Facebook. So I will often set up for my clients a retargeting of the last 30-day website viewers who didn't purchase. So I would recommend first setting up your prospecting campaign, get some data back, and when you're ready, you can set up a retargeting campaign based off of who's adding to cart and viewing content on your site. Another thing that's important is understanding attribution. So I like to use a few different tools to measure attribution. I think that talking about attribution could be a whole nother seminar, so I'll keep this short and sweet. But overall, on Snapchat, you can look on Snapchat Ads Manager at the different windows. The default window is 28-day swipe, 1-day view, which is similar to what it is on Facebook. But you can also see how many people are swiping up within the same hour, maybe a 1-day swipe, no view, 7-day swipe, 1 hour view. There is a ton of combinations of how you can see whether people are swiping up and purchasing in different time frames. And essentially, you'll want to compare the different attribution windows to get your source of truth. So another thing that's important is looking at Google Analytics, seeing how, if you are including UTM tags on your Snapchat ad URLs, you'll be able to track in Google Analytics revenue, bounce rate, pages per session, any metrics you care about within Google Analytics. So comparing that to what you're seeing on Snapchat Ads Manager. I also like to use a tool called Inquire, which is a post-purchase survey platform for Shopify. So after someone purchases a product, they'll be surveyed, how did you hear about us? And they can click Snap, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You can put all of your acquisition channels in there. And I like to see how many people are filling out the survey saying they found out about us from a Snapchat ad versus what we're seeing reported on Snapchat and TikTok Ads Manager, or Snapchat and Google Analytics. So another good data point. Establish goal metrics. So essentially for my e-commerce clients, a lot of them are looking at the same attribution window or the same metrics that they are on Facebook. So that is a good thing to do, is to keep your metrics the same. So for instance, if you are looking for a 2x ROAS on Facebook, you can have the same goal on Snapchat and seeing how it measures up, comparing the attribution windows, comparing Google Analytics revenue. And then lastly, test. Testing different creative, testing different audiences. It's an ongoing process that I do for my clients on a weekly basis. Creative testing is the only way you're going to know what's going to work for your specific audience. So be prepared to invest in that creative testing process. You also want to avoid ad fatigue. So especially in retargeting, when you are retargeting people who have been to your website already, you don't want to keep showing them the same ad or the same offer. That's going to really increase the ad fatigue and probably their annoyance if they're seeing the same ad over and over. So especially in retargeting, when it's a smaller audience and the frequency is probably pretty high, you want to make sure you're keeping the content fresh, testing different offers, different creatives, different value props. I would say creative testing could even be more important in retargeting to reduce ad fatigue. Also, keeping organized. So testing is important, but testing is only important if you are learning from those tests. So I like to keep a spreadsheet of what I'm testing for my clients each week, what value props are resonating the most for my clients, which creative styles, so was it UGC versus testimonial versus whatever, product benefit video. Keeping yourself organized so that you can go back on your data and be like, okay, I already tested this, I don't want to test this again, or I know this model works really well, or this text overlay was the best performing. I think sometimes as digital marketers, we test a lot, but often we forget to analyze and to keep organized and to track results. So keeping organized will really help the creative testing process, because then you can rule out things that have worked well versus things that didn't work and you don't want to test again. So here are a few action items to leave you with. Get your ad account set up. If you're new to Snapchat ads, again, you can use my link, bit.ly/2000 Snapchat for $2,000 toward your first Snapchat ad campaign. Get your payment and pixel set up so you'd enter your credit card. Really, like I said, Snapchat Ads Manager is super easy. So set up your pixel with one click on Shopify. You can get your account set up in 30 minutes or less. Determine which creatives to make and follow the golden rules. So take the examples that I showed in this presentation and try to model your creatives off of these best performing examples and leverage the golden rules so that you can have your campaign set up for success. And for your first campaigns, like I said, start with prospecting, broad audience targeting, leverage machine learning, see what Snapchat comes back with as your top interests and demographics, see what creatives people are resonating with, and ultimately test and learn from there. Alrighty, well, that is the end of the presentation portion. I'm excited to see what you guys think about Snapchat ads and creative testing, so let me know.